Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Sourcing Secrets with C4 and I'm Keith Henderson. And today we're going to talk about the common mistakes new businesses make when going to source overseas. So I always say finding a supplier is kind of like dating. Your first step is make sure you have common interest. Make sure that they're producing a product similar to yours with similar MOQs than you. Similar regions. Are they producing for the Asian market that's a lot different than the EU to the US consumer? So make sure those interests align. And date before you get married. And what I mean by this is if your business is 80% your Christmas season, don't dump this huge order for the Christmas season with this new supplier. Test out some smaller orders first. Or if you have molds, make sure that you do all your development, all your research, your 3D molds before opening up a mold with that supplier. Because if something goes wrong and you need to move it to a new one, it's very, very difficult. 9 times out of 10, you have to scrap the mold, eat that cost, and completely reopen it with the new supplier. So to kind of talk about those common mistakes is don't fit a square peg in a round hole. So don't force anything. It has to make sense for the factory as well as you. So like I said earlier, is with MOQs, if they have a 50,000 MOQ and you only need 500 pieces, it's probably not going to work to try and force them down. They might specialize in these large quantities, very price-focused products like a Walmart or a Dollar General, but you need this higher quality with a lower MOQ. It's two different things. Don't force that to happen. And at C4, we have our own quality assurance team, and we'll send these QC in there to inspect with the eyes of the buyer. So we send you a pre-production sample or a product development sample that you sign off on, and that's the expectations that we need to hit. If you don't use a third-party QC team or do it yourself, you're going to have the factory's expectations on that product. And what that means is they might let a couple errors slide because it'll lose them a lot of money if they fail it. So you need to catch that out in front and always have somebody on that production line with your best interest. Taking a step back from that even is make sure that sourcing overseas is worth it. If you're making 50 shirts for a family reunion, go to the t-shirt printer down the street and call it a day. Once you have those quantities up to 100, 500,000, whatever it might be, it's always going to be different for each product, but then take that step into sourcing overseas. So make sure that you weigh both scenarios for your product and maybe start domestically and then take that step later. Another common mistake is it's very, very exciting to produce your product and get it made, but you need to do the work and the logistics first before placing. So there's many components to this, from making sure you have a broker to clear customs, making sure you know the duty percentages. Do you have the right certificates to import it? Are you going to be shipping this by ocean and then railing it to you? You need to have all that planned out in advance, because I've had so many clients that place something and they call me and say, "Oh, Keith, help me, I don't know how to get it here." And maybe their shipping cost is higher than expected, so they can't even retail the product for what they wanted to. Or they might not have used a factory with the right certifications to get it in. So all this due diligence in your shipping, in your freight, in your customs, in your packaging even, needs to be done before the order's placed. So you need to look through all of that. And that's what we do at C4. We look at it from that bird's eye view and give you this package. Hey, does this make sense? Here's your game plan moving forward. And we kind of help you do that and always have your best intentions in mind. We like to be the matchmaker. If we're going to go back to the dating scenarios, find a factory that makes sense for this retailer. Quality is always number one in our eyes. And then delivery, making sure that we can get it there on time for a good price, making sure that we have all the customs documents done, know the duty percentage, and then of course price. It has to make sense from a money perspective. For you to retail that product with the margins that you want, we need to make sure that the product price makes sense, the logistics price makes sense. So we sit there and we check that list for you. So if you have any questions about a new product, an existing product, maybe our services can help, but we'd be more than happy to consult you on, hey, let's make sure your ducks are in a row before you take that leap. So comment below, message us, we're here to help. Thank you again for tuning in, like, subscribe, do all the things. And if you have any ideas or any questions that you'd like a video about, be sure to drop those in the comments below. And until next time, this is Sourcing Secrets with C4. And I'm Keith, and we're signing out.